result of years of effort and setbacks she's had to overcome. And now, she's ready to take that step forward. Esther Nkrumah, JoyNews, Accra.
And welcome to JoyNews Room. I am MFA Akufo-Addo. We're coming to you live from our studios here in Kokomlemle, Accra. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. We're also around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming out this afternoon, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman cautions against premature celebration of Ghana's improving economic indicators.
Strong results should not produce complacency. They should deepen responsibility because transformation is a process.
We'll bring you more as she calls for stronger African representation on the UN Security Council.
Absence of meaningful African representation within key global decision structures remains a source of growing imbalance.
And also, Finance Minister Dr. Kasia Latoforsen has announced government's move to address Bank of Ghana's negative equity through quarterly automatic recapitalization.
We've also introduced automatic recapitalization. And so what that means is that anytime the central banks falls below its minimum capitalization, the central government automatically capitalizes the central bank in 3 months.
Of course, you do remember that we are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay for details. Thank you for staying with us. First on the news, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has cautioned against premature celebration of Ghana's improving economic indicators. Speaking at the Oxford Africa Conference 2026 at the University of Oxford in the United Kingdom, Professor Opoku-Agyeman explained that while recovery signs are encouraging, focus must remain on disciplined, inclusive and sustained transformation rather than complacency. She also emphasized the need for global institutions to be more responsive to the needs of African countries, calling for Africa representation on the UN Security Council. Hannah Odame has more in this report.
The conference, organized by the Oxford University Africa Society, is a student-led platform that convenes policymakers, scholars, entrepreneurs, and global leaders to advance dialogue on Africa's development and future trajectories. Delivering the keynote address, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, said Africa's limited representation in key global decision-making bodies, particularly the United Nations Security Council, continues to reflect a structural imbalance in global power relations.
For many African states, the continued absence of meaningful African representation within key global decision structures, particularly the United Nations Security Council, remains a source of growing imbalance between the distribution of global power and the structures through which that power is exercised. But legitimacy is shaped beyond representation. It is also shaped by outcomes.
According to her, many governments continue to operate under severe structural constraints, which, she says, undermines growth, stability, and opportunity. Describing this as one of the defining governance challenges of the era, the Vice President questioned why global and national institutions cannot quickly adapt enough to remain credible amid rapid change.
What matters now is not so much how Africa is described, but how the continent organizes herself to compete, integrate, innovate, and build at scale. Data may illustrate the breadth of the opportunity and project the possibilities ahead. But our future will ultimately be shaped by leadership, by institutions that are capable of functioning credibly and consistently, and by systems capable of recognizing the full productive potential of her people.
On Ghana's economic situation, Professor Akufo-Addo acknowledged encouraging signs of recovery and reform, but cautioned against complacency.
It is true that Ghana is beginning to see encouraging signs of recovery and reform. Macroeconomic indicators are improving, investor confidence is gradually returning, and institutional reforms are taking shape. But grounded leadership also means resisting the temptation to celebrate prematurely. Strong results should not produce complacency. They should deepen responsibility because transformation is a process.
The Vice President, who also met some Ghanaian students at the Oxford University, encouraged them to learn beyond the classroom, indicating global challenges now require integrated thinking and collaborative approach. For JoyNews, I am Hannah Odami.
Well, the government is set to unveil a new economy initiative following Ghana's successful exit from the International Monetary Fund's Extended Credit Facility Program, in what officials describe as the next phase of the country's economic transformation agenda. And Finance Minister Dr. Kasialo Tuforsen is expected to outline the policy direction. The government's proposed IMF strategy and measures aimed at sustaining macroeconomic stability, driving growth and rebuilding investor confidence.
We have not introduced subsidy, and so the cost is zero. So be rest assured, I'm here with the minister responsible for energy, and we have just to confirm that government of Ghana has not introduced any form of subsidy in the petroleum sector since the crisis. From stability, what next? I think it's a chain of three: stability, resilience, and development. Build stability, you build resilience, and then use the resilience to develop. Clearly, the stability is done. We've announced same. It's been confirmed even by the fund. We've built some good resilience, and we are building it continuously. It's now time for us to develop and create jobs, and that is where we are going. And so, in the coming days, we'll be announcing our flagship design called the New Economy, where we'll be looking at areas of development and job creation, and that will be made known to the people of Ghana. But just to be assured that from stability you build resilience, and from resilience you build an economy that will benefit the masses, and that is exactly where we are going.
The Finance Minister, Dr. Kasialo Tuforsen, further indicated the government's commitment to support the Bank of Ghana to reduce its high negative equity position by 2032 through automatic recapitalization.
Yes, the government of Ghana has a responsibility to make sure that the central bank has strong finances. we are working with the central bank. Central bank will obviously generate income, and they will obviously make some profit going into the future. Until recently, the central bank used to pay dividend to the central government, and that was the case. Obviously, they will have to make profit before they pay dividend. Today, they are not able to do that, and it started in 2022. Obviously, as a result of some of the debt restructuring and also some of the activities and some of the actions, the central bank will do whatever it takes to return to profitability. And then part of those profitability will be used to reduce some of the negative equity. And then government will also come in to support the central bank. And so we are working together, both government and the bank, to bring that negative equity down. And in the medium term, that will be solved. Recently, I went to Parliament to present the new Bank of Ghana bill amendment. And in that amendment that has since become a law, it is obvious that government commit to fully capitalize the central bank by 2032. And so it's a gradual process. And so gradually from now to 2032, 6-7 years time, the central bank will fully be capitalized. And in that amendment, we have also introduced automatic recapitalization. And so that what that means is that anytime the central banks falls below its minimum capitalization, the central government automatically capitalizes the central bank in 3 months. And so all of that has been put in place. And so I can assure you that we are not just sitting, we care. It's important that our central bank is strong. It's important that we allow the central bank to also perform its mandate, constitutional mandate, to ensure that inflation is tamed and controlled. And so we'll do whatever it takes to support the central bank to be able to perform their mandate. Let me put it that way. Thank you.
Now let's turn our attention to Ghana's road traffic light system that is in crisis. Now, a new government assessment reveals that nearly 4 in 10 traffic signals across the country are either broken or have been completely removed, and the situation is getting worse because crashes, organized theft, and a $55 million court debt are crippling the nation's ability to keep its streets safe. Well, this afternoon, we ask who is responsible and when our lights coming back on. Let's get to the numbers on the latest report released by the Department of Urban Roads for the month of April 2026. So the overall situation is that, of course, we're in some serious trouble. Out of 411 traffic light installations across 11 regions, we have 257 working. That's 63% of the total number of 411. Also, 132 are not working, and that represents 32%. And as well, 22 have been removed or decommissioned, and that represents 5% of the total number. Now, most of the traffic lights are in Accra. They're quite concentrated in the Greater Accra region. And here are the distributions. We have 241 signals. That's also about 59% of it. In the Ashanti region, we have only 61. In the Western region, we have 30. In the Eastern region, we have 28. In the Central region, we have 22. In the Volta region, we have 18, and we put the others together, or they put the others together to 11. Now, 5 regions have no traffic lights under the Department of Urban Road oversight at all, meaning traffic management infrastructure is heavily concentrated in Accra, while many regions are quite underserved. So why so many traffic lights are off, really? The report records 587 major incidents between 2020 to 2026. And here are the main causes still on your screen. First one would be vehicular crashes. It represents about 77.5%. That's 455 incidents, some of which are drivers crashing into the poles, gantries and controllers, linked to overspeeding and reckless driving, which they say that is the biggest problem. Another thing that the report highlighted would be theft and vandalism, representing about 17.4% of the causes. That's 102 incidents, theft of batteries, solar panels, copper cables, control systems, and many as well. The other that the reports indicated was obsolete equipment, representing 5.1%. That would be about 30 incidents, old hardwares with unavailable spare parts. Some systems are also simply outdated and difficult to repair. Now, let's put a case study to this. As you know, we've been bringing you a report by my colleague Adubia Asare, Run for Your Life, on the Awoshi-Pokwase corridor particularly. The presentation highlights that this corridor has an example of how bad the situation has become. For example, in School Junction, a crash destroyed the solar system and controller, and the driver died. In Odogono Junction, thieves stole batteries and controllers. At the Anyao market as well, repeated theft despite security measures. And overhead grantaries as well, criminals climbed structures to cut copper cables. Well, the main point is that damage is happening repeatedly, even after repairs and security interventions. Now, there's even a much deeper problem, institutional and financial problems. The report says that there's a major issue or about 55 million judgment death. And in fact, that 55 is in dollars. And it is related to the contract between the Accra Intelligent Traffic Management System, what you know as the AITMS, and the government of Ghana. Here are the problems. So, government of Ghana owes contractors. Contractors have also stopped the emergency work. Court dispute is also delaying modernization, and quite expensive equipment are quite sitting in the storage unused. In simple terms, when the equipment exists, legal and financial problems are preventing deployment. There are also security measures being introduced by the Department of Urban Roads. It says that steel burglar-proof cages have been introduced, reinforced underground chambers, official ID requirements for technicians. So if you see somebody around the traffic light, you can demand their official IDs, and stronger legal prosecutions for vandals as well. The smart traffic system plan will be that the current setup will include 33 smart controllers, 80 CCTV cameras, one bus priority system linked to the Accra Traffic Management System, and this is funded by the French Development Agency, AFD, and the government of Ghana. I will skip to maybe the final part that says that the main message that the report is hoping to present is that despite all of these, reckless driving, theft, vandalism, old equipment, debt owed to contractors, and legal disputes are delaying the modernization. And here are the solutions proposed: a better protection of the infrastructure, faster payment of contractors, and completion of smart traffic projects. Public cooperation and responsible driving as well are required. At least this is how we can be safe on our roads. Well, if you don't know how serious this is, I'm reminding you of the story of my colleague Adubia Asare, Run for Your Life, the Anya Awoshi traffic light that hasn't been functioning. I know that currently it's been updated and it's functioning, but take a look.
Just weeks after JoyNews highlighted the dangers on the Awoshi-Anya road, engineers have returned to fix the faulty traffic lights that residents say turned the road into a daily nightmare. Workers were seen opening control boxes, reconnecting cables, and inspecting traffic poles along the stretch. Speaking off camera to JoyNews, the maintenance engineer for urban roads at Ablekuma North Municipal Assembly said the repairs work will be done in phases because of the high cost involved. He explained that the first phase will focus on 2 sets of traffic lights from Mangwase to Odogono Senior High School, with works expected to be completed within 2 weeks. Residents said they were relieved that authorities had finally responded after years of complaints.
Past by 3 years and your light on your we
are excited to finally see engineers working on the traffic lights because for years they have not been functioning and several lives have been lost as a result. We are grateful to Honorable Irabena Oben for listening to our concerns and responding to them.
Traffic lights yomo yama de nyamianim nokre. Kano edie nyache. Kano kunipa okwan iso ache.
The malfunctioning traffic lights have contributed to several deaths in the area. So we are happy that attention is finally being given to the situation. We are also appealing to authorities to repair the street lights alongside the traffic lights to improve safety on the stretch.
From how to Adrikma, street light, just almost say, traffic lights and street light.
I see so many people around that they are doing our construction work for being light off the traffic jam. You people are doing well. So we thank you for a great work that you've been done. I never dream of the area of Abrikwa North, we never dream of, because the people are doing a great, massive job.
With repair works now underway, hope is brewing among residents and motorists that within the next couple of weeks, the long malfunctioning traffic lights along the Awoshianya stretch will finally be restored, bringing some relief to commuters and improving safety on the busy road. For JoyNews, I am Adobe Asari.
Well, even after functioning traffic lights, you definitely need some petrol to ply the road, right? So petrol prices are expected to rise by up to 7.3% in the next pricing window, with diesel and LPG also set to increase as pressure from global oil markets and the weaker cedi continues to push fuel costs higher. There's more in the following report.
Based on data from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, petrol prices are expected to rise by between 5.29% and 7.30%, potentially taking the price of a litre to 15 cedis 42 pesos. Diesel could go up by as much as 7.30%, with a litre projected to sell at 17 cedis 83 pesos. Liquefied petrol gas is also expected to increase by 3%, which could push the price of a kilogram to 17 cedis 10 pesos. These projections are based on oil marketing firms that buy products on credits from bulk oil distributors. According to the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, the increase is being driven by higher international market prices and renewed pressure on the Ghana cedi. The local currency, for instance, depreciated slightly against major trading currencies. For the May 16, 2026 pricing window, the cedi moved from 11.205 Ghana cedis to 11.3133 Ghana cedis to the dollar, representing a 0.59% decline. At the same time, average crude oil prices eased slightly in mid-May, falling from $113.08 per barrel to $112.07 per barrel, a 1.52% decrease. However, the near halt of traffic through the Strait of Hormuz during the 10-week conflict continues to disrupt shipment of crude oil, gas and refined fuel to global markets, adding pressure to energy prices and rising inflation concerns. The government says it has continued measures to cushion consumers from the impact of rising petrol prices on the international market. In a statement signed by Richmond Roxon, spokesperson and head of communications at the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, the government said the decision followed a cabinet meeting chaired by President John Dramani Mahama, during which developments on the global petrol market were reviewed.
Away from that, the South Tone District Assembly and the Agave Traditional Council have committed to fulfilling their respective roles in resolving the chieftaincy dispute in the area. They explained that this effort aims to sustain the district's development by eliminating all obstacles that threaten peace and could impede progress. Victoria Jakulo, the South Tone District Chief Executive, gave this assurance when concerned citizens of Duto petitioned stakeholders to address a beckoning conflict in the area.
Concerned citizens of Aduto organized a civil protest demanding an end to the ongoing chieftaincy conflict in the Agave traditional area. They called on the government and the Agave Traditional Council to swiftly initiate an investigation by inviting the rival functions to present their claims for resolution. They expressed concern over the chief of the Anyigbe clan, Akufo-Addo VIII, conducting riots purportedly to distill Togbelugu Abadali IV for misconduct, an action they found customarily wrong and alarming.
If left unaddressed, this act of provocation risks severely disturbing the peace and unity of the Agave traditional area and may lead consequences that are difficult to contain. Togbelugu Abadali IV remain the duly installed, recognized, and legitimate Akufo-Addo.
The president of the Agave Traditional Council, Togbega Hodiho VI, reaffirmed the council's commitment to resolving the issue amicably.
We cannot go through that we cannot develop by those acts. And the courts are there. If you feel somebody is not right to occupy a position, you go to court. That is why courts are there. This does not bring any development to Agave. That's it.
The concerned citizens of Aduto also petitioned the government through the Southern District Assembly to take a mediation role in the ongoing chieftaincy disputes. The Southern District Chief Executive, Victoria Jeklu, received the petition on behalf of the government.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and on behalf of the Volta Regional Minister, Honorable James Green, I received your petition, and I assure you that we'll work towards it and keep them also informed. Whatever the outcome is, we will get to you. We'll get back to you within the shortest. Thank you very much.
Fred Kwame Asai, JoyNews, Aduto.
Now, in the heart of Wa East, where the drums beat louder and the fugu threads run deeper, history was made. The Lioness of Africa, Noella Wiala, returned home not just as a global star, but as Funsi's own fugu queen and Ghana's new tourism ambassador. Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam witnessed the unveiling of the Afro-pop singer by the Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts Minister Ablajifa Gomashi at Funsi, and here is his report.
It was a celebration of culture, identity, and pride in Funsi, the capital of the Wa East district, as Ghana's Lioness of Africa, Noella Wiala, was officially unveiled as Fugu Queen and Tourism Ambassador. President Uombele was the country's Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts Minister, Ablajifa Gomashi.
I'm truly happy to be here at Funsi this evening for this colorful and vibrant occasion and the unveiling of our celebrated daughter, sister, colleague, friend, Wiala, as Fugu Queen and Tourism Ambassador. This day has been long in coming.
The minister emphasized that the event was more than a celebration of one artist. It was a celebration of Ghana's culture, resilience, and heritage.
Every thread woven into Fugu tells a story, our story, and our resilience as a people. This is why I wish so strongly to urge all Ghanaians to consciously promote and patronize made in Ghana products, especially our beautiful Fugu and other locally produced textiles and crafts. When we wear and promote Ghanaian products, we create jobs for our weavers, designers, traders, all kinds of entrepreneurs. We stimulate the local industries and the local economy and preserve our cultural heritage for future generations.
She highlighted Wiyala's nearly 20-year commitment to promoting Ghanaian culture even before Fugu became a social media trend, and praised her work in education, women's empowerment, and youth development.
She has used music, fashion, and performance to project the beauty of our traditions to the world. More importantly, she has remained deeply connected to her roots and committed to uplifting her people and especially our children. Wiyala has undertaken commendable initiatives that continue to impact lives positively in her community and across the country. Her efforts in supporting young people, empowering women, promoting education, promoting a clean environment, and championing local culture deserve recognition and admiration.
Wise District Executive Adamu Saibu stated that the district has talent but needs more opportunities, and expressed hope that the ministry's support will open doors for the district's creatives.
Culture is the pride of the people of Fancy, so they can do a lot in terms of culture. It's just that we are limited in opportunities. Being our mother heading the ministry in charge of that particular sector, we will expect and pray that you extend opportunities in the ministry to the town of Kumasi.
Addressing the minister directly, the Afro-pop singer, preferred to call her Mommy, accepted the title with emotion and resolve.
If somebody doesn't truly care and wish you well, wants to support you and show you that, yes, they see you doing something great, they wouldn't come all the way like this. And I want to tell my mommy that I have accepted this title, this honor, and I will not disappoint you. I'll make the whole Ghana proud. When I go out there, I will roar.
With his new role, Wiyala says she will continue to showcase the beauty, creativity, and tourism potential of Ghana to the world. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Swansea.
Alumni from the 2001 year group of Bando Senior High School have expressed concern over the poor condition of the school's kitchen. They say the facility is deteriorated and could pose a health risk to students who eat there. To address this, the group is rallying other alumni to contribute towards building a modern kitchen for their alma mater. The appeal was made during the launch of the school's 73rd Speech and Prize Giving Day, which also marked 25 years since the 2001 year batch group graduated. This morning, the following report.
Who gets 1,000 voices to hail my dear person, my great alma mater.
A school kitchen is meant to be the hub for preparing students' meals, but at Bando SHS, the standard is not being met. According to concerned alumni, there must be a change. Speaking at the launch of the 73rd Speech and Prize Giving Day, 2001 alumni president Kelly Kekeli Deboy described the current state of the kitchen.
The current infrastructure on the ground is very appalling. It's an open structure. What it means is that food and other things that are supposed to be consumed are left in the open, exposed to all bad conditions. We used to have a very well-planned and established gas system, those days used in cooking. But as we speak now, the cylinder, the pipe system and all the stoves are down. And so as part of the project, we are considering revamping that gas facility to supply power to the kitchen. The new facility, we're going to have very good washrooms, restrooms, a well-equipped office for the matron. We're also going to have steamers to cook.
The school's 73rd Speech and Prize Giving Day was held under the theme Advancing Academic Excellence Through Discipline and Innovation, a Collective Responsibility. The event also marked the 25th anniversary of the 2001 batch. Event chairman, Professor Gordon Adumja, explained that the school is trying to raise more than 1 million cedis for the school kitchen.
So the year group is hoping to raise 1.8 million cedis as a minimum amount for the kitchen project and also raise additional funding for the award categories for the Speech and Prize Giving Day. So we're calling on all past students of Bando Secondary School, home and abroad, and well-wishers to come and support this important project.
North Tongu DCE and fellow alumna Victoria Amefaji Yawado called on all SHS alumni in her district to support their formal schools and not depend solely on government funding.
I have 5 senior high schools in my district. I also encourage them that, yes, just as a lot of schools are celebrating days, anniversaries, and giving back to the schools that groomed them, they should form the association. It must be a vibrant association. Government cannot do it alone. Government needs different stakeholders to help us to support our schools. And the All Students Association is one of the key stakeholders of the schools that we have.
With the 2001 batch taking the lead, all Pando SHS alumni are being urged to contribute towards securing the school's future. The goal is to build a facility that protects students' health and upholds the school's legacy. For JoyNews, Mavis Kabuko's report read to you.
On that Bobo note, stay with me. We go for a quick break. We'll be back.
Ghana Police Service is facing potential legal action from artist Ibrahim Muhammad.
He and his team were attacked by members of the Black Maria.
It's all over Ghana that a diplomat has been beaten to pulp.
Ibrahim Muhammad is a peaceful citizen. If you do this to him, what will happen to some of us?
That DSP Jalil is a dangerous human being.
He's a controversial person within the police service, and every policeman can attest to that.
One of the police officers saw me and I could see a sense of caution and fear on his face. He went to them and he said, do you know who that is? I said, that's Ibrahim, the guy that the president gave the diplomatic status. And then he said, oh, and so what? These people, they really don't care about any of these things. They are just power drunk.
The love that we have for you, do all these things for you, and we won't turn back to you. Okay?
The first thing was a punch in my face, and one of my teeth got broken immediately.
I was really assaulted by the police today. You can see how they broke my tooth.
There's data we collected from 2016 till now. There's been 9 police brutalities. Guess what? Not even one person has been convicted. Do you believe you're going to get justice?
My whole adult life, I never cried before. When this thing happened, that was the next time I cried in my life. Why? Why?
This week on the Career Trail.
I was born in the States. I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. So I'm graduating at this point. I don't have a job. I don't have a business either. You know, I remember I sent, sending emails to people that had businesses on the continent. I mean, I'm sure whoever was reading the email didn't even know where Ghana was. And then for 2 years, made a lot of money in the process, and I decided to now focus on ping pong. This lady just walks out and, she's talking to her friend. She's like, ice cream, 10 cedis. And come if I go to food. Listen, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
On PM Express, power is confronted, claims are tested, and accountability is not optional.
The first 2 months in office between January, February, and March, we had already brought down this rate, and then we have sustained it since.
Politics, business, the economy, social justice. If it affects your life, it will be examined. If it shapes your future, it will be interrogated.
You ever sitting there today, you see me sweating, I'm answering your question, you in the comfort of your chair, putting all these questions to me. That is why you would not have the responsibility of bringing about this document.
No safe spaces for evasion, no comfort in half-truths, just facts, pressure, and the courage to stay with the question until the answer comes.
Your word says, my words were, those on Contact Plus, you pay 570 and you get more channels.
Evans,
that moves you.
This is the speech.
To
the speech I read yesterday is what I'm holding here. You didn't read the speech. You didn't write it. I wrote it and I read it.
Because democracy demands scrutiny and the public deserves clarity. When the day's noise fades and the nation needs understanding, there is PM Express on JoyNews. Independent, fearless, credible.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. A new research presented by University of Ghana kidney specialist Professor Vincent Bayoma suggests Akans may be more genetically predisposed to chronic kidney disease, now raising major public health concerns for Ghana's largest ethnic group. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, Akans make up 45.7% of the population. A figure experts say makes early screening, prevention, affordable kidney care even more urgent. Professor Bayoma says the finding should not create fear or stigma, but should guide Ghana's planning for kidney disease prevention and treatment. There's more in this report.
Professor Vincent Bayoma says a major genetic study described as the first of its kind in Ghana with a large sample size suggests Akans may have a higher proportion of high-risk APOL1 gene variants linked to chronic kidney disease than groups such as GANS and EWES. The finding is significant because Akans are Ghana's largest ethnic group. The 2021 Population and Housing Census puts the Akan population at 13.9 million, representing nearly half of the country's population.
37.2% of Akans have the two risk variants, compared to 19% of the GANs and 17% of people from the Volta region.
But Professor Bayoma is cautioning against fear or stigma. He says genetic risk does not mean every Akan will develop kidney disease. He explains that the danger becomes greater when genetic risk is combined with factors such as high blood pressure, infections, late diagnosis, and poor access to treatment.
The reason for this is not known, but this poses a huge public health problem, which requires that we put measures in place to screen people at high risk of developing this gene-associated kidney disease and tailor-made treatment that will improve their outcome.
Professor Bayoma also says kidney disease and other long-term illnesses do not affect only the body. They also affect the mind. He says many patients suffer anxiety, depression, and emotional distress because of treatment costs and uncertainty about survival. He is calling for a new kidney care model that combines genetic research, mental health support, and community-based screening.
When you find the underlying cause, target it with therapy and treat the patient like that, that means that you probably are able to improve outcomes of care. And that is the precision therapy we are talking about.
Professor Bayoma says Ghana must invest more in prevention, early diagnosis, affordable medicines, and stronger primary health care. He's warning that without early action, kidney disease will continue to place a heavy financial and emotional burden on families.
Away from our kidneys, government has suspended plans to demolish sections of the Makala market for redevelopment following protests by traders who petitioned authorities over what they describe as inadequate consultation ahead of the exercise. The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namomolerte, says the exercise has been put on hold to allow further engagement with the traders while urging them to remain calm and participate in consultations devoid of emotions and hearsay. There's more in this report.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namumulate, has stepped in after traders at the Backah market petitioned government to reconsider plans to demolish portions of the market for redevelopment. The traders who staged a protest yesterday argue that the planned exercise could disrupt their businesses and affect their livelihoods, insisting they were not adequately consulted before the decision was taken. Following the petition and a meeting with leaders of the trader associations, the Gender Minister Agnes Namumulate announced that the demolition exercise has been suspended to pave way for broader consultations between government and the traders on the proposed redevelopment project.
I will not urge the mandate demolition to commence because there are so many things involved from what you are hearing, and it is better we have a clear path to chat and do it peacefully. It might not be the comfort of everyone, but once we get to talk and we have an understanding, we'll be able to commence. And so that is the assurance I have given them. And I've been in touch with the mayor and will continue.
The minister is now urging the traders to remain calm and approach the consultation process devoid of emotions and hearsay, assuring them that government is prepared to listen to their concerns and work with them to arrive at a solution that protects both their welfare and the redevelopment agenda.
We're going to find solutions devoid of hearsay, and this is to make our understanding clear, because none of you has stood against development. None of you has rebelled that there shouldn't be any development. The other thing I will add to it is that you use your good office as the leader to plead on them that the hearsays will not help us, the emotions will not help us.
Speaking on behalf of the traders, Ebenezer Biukran described the minister's intervention as reassuring and expressed hope that the consultations will lead to a favorable outcome for the traders.
And I think that we need to be heard. And with this new intervention, I think that we will place ourselves in a situation where they will listen to us and also listen to them. And then we will come to common grounds. We are happy about that. We never said that. We can't object. We can't reject development. Every country wants development. The market, I recently renovated this place. So we need to develop, human or physical.
Consultations between government and the trader groups are expected to continue in the coming days as authorities work towards a consensus on the proposed redevelopment of the Backah market.
The government is pushing to raise women's representation in key sectors of the economy to at least 30% by the end of the year, while calling on the media to intensify public education on the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act. Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection Agnes Namumulate says sustained media engagement is key to closing long-standing gender gaps in society. And Michelle Lati has more.
The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection,
The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is rallying the media to move beyond reporting and become an active force in advancing gender equity as Ghana rolls out the full implementation of the Affirmative Action Act. The landmark legislation, passed in 2024, mandates a minimum 30% representation of women across political, economic and social institutions, with a long-term target of achieving gender parity by 2034. Speaking at a media engagement, Gender Minister Dr. Agnes Namumulate described the media as indispensable to the success of the Act, stressing that journalists must help drive public awareness, challenge discrimination, and hold institutions accountable.
Use your platforms to inform the public, challenge harmful norms, and amplify the voices of women and girls across Ghana. We count on you not only to report, but to lead in shaping a national discourse that drives change and results in gender equality and social inclusion for sustainable development.
The minister is confident that media support will help deliver real progress under the Act.
With informed commitment, the media partners we have Definitely, the Affirmative Action Act will not remain only on our status books, but will be reflected in the gender transformation across all institutions, both public and private, for the development of the country.
The ministry says it is determined to ensure that the Affirmative Action Act is fully realized, not just in policy, but in the lived experiences of the people. For JoyNews, Michelle Latte.
And it was an atmosphere of celebration and inspiration at the Labadi Beach Hotel at the 2026 JoyNews Impact Makers Awards, and it honored individuals whose dedication, resilience and service continue to transform lives across Ghana. The ceremony recognized changemakers making a remarkable impact in the community through advocacy, social intervention and support of vulnerable groups, reinforcing a shared commitment to national development and social change. A report by Deborah Enimwa, Bedu and Chamela.
The 2026 JoyNews Impact Maker of the Year, Valeria Ajo Ajatia.
It was a night filled with celebration, emotion and inspiration as stories of sacrifice, resilience and service took center stage. The 2026 JoyNews Impact Makers Awards lit up the night with a shared hope for a better Ghana, honoring individuals whose work continues to transform lives across the country. Founder of the Smiles of Hope Foundation, Valerie Ajo Ajatia, emerged as the overall impact maker of the year. She was recognized for her outstanding work supporting amputees through counseling, rehabilitation and peer mentorship, helping many survivors regain confidence and reintegrate into society with dignity.
My word to my colleagues out there who are doing this out there is that it's a calling. If you see it as a calling, something you do and have the passion for it, I would say it's the best feeling ever to be able to impact others or they make a change in the community that you stay in.
Deputy Chief of Staff Nana Akufo-Addo, speaking at the event, said Ghana's development depends heavily on citizens who are willing to make meaningful contributions within their communities.
You are telling ordinary Ghanaians that what they do as Ghanaians matters, that their sweat, their empathy, their sacrifice and their quiet service in communities that the world does not always see, Multimedia Group will see, and it is worthy of celebration. On behalf of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, I reaffirm the commitment of government to creating the conditions for more awardees, for more Ghanaians to thrive.
The 2026 JoyNews Impact Makers Awards brought together policymakers, corporate leaders, development partners and community advocates to honor individuals and organizations driving meaningful change across Ghana. Organizers of the award ceremony described the impact of the awardees as transformative and innovative.
JoyNews Impact Makers Awards is set up not to promote arrogance or self-centeredness. It is to bring out the genuineness of volunteerism. It is to bring out the genuineness of giving, the love for one another and togetherness.
In all, 12 individuals and institutions were recognized for initiatives improving lives and strengthening communities through advocacy, innovation, and social intervention.
Now, for years, pupils in Nandoli studied in borrowed classrooms, while midwives in Chag delivered babies from makeshift facilities. That's now changing as the Nandoli Kaleo District Assembly hands over new school and health facilities to both communities. And Rafiq Salam has more in this report.
It's been a day of relief in the Nandoli Kaleo District. Residents in Nadoli and Chan are celebrating after the district assembly commissioned 3 key projects meant to fix years of gaps in education and healthcare. In Nadoli, pupils panel have a fully furnished model kindergarten block and a new 3-classroom block. For years, many had to perch in other schools just to get a lesson. In Chan, a modern community-based health planning and services CHEPS compound is now open, replacing the borrowed compound house where midwives once worked. Nadoli Kelio District Chief Executive Mero Haruna calls the Nadoli classroom block a legacy project and says another will soon be commissioned in Pala soon. She urged parents and chiefs to take ownership and maintain the structures.
We are committed to solving the educational problems of Nadoli Kaleo district. We are sharing in bits and will move from community to community. There are a lot we have in our developmental plan. The medium-term plans, we have captured a lot of communities we're going to handle. And I use this opportunity to thank all the technocrats who supported. We also thank the John Mama government for giving us a lot. There is certain agenda is expected to be supported by us, and we are ready to touch all communities within Nadoli Kaleo district. To the technocrats, we are very grateful.
For teachers and health workers, the change is immediate. In Nadoli, KG head teacher, Madam Faustina Bodip, recalled having to hold children on her lap during rain because the old space leaked. She says the era is over.
I don't know how to always control the children. Madam will be carrying some on her laps. I will carry some on my laps. And the place where we were perching, always leaking. So we are very, very happy that this has been given to us.
In Chang, senior midwife Suame Faustina says the new compound with staff accommodation means they can now offer 24/7 care and accept more postings.
Because we're having a limited infrastructure, sometimes you want to observe someone for an hour or two to see the way forward. But because there's no enough facilities for the person, like resting, or a woman has come to deliver, and there's no place for the person to lie down, for you to observe and monitor the baby and the mother. That was before, but now with this structure, all those facilities, avenues have been created.
But officials say the work isn't complete. Mr. Adams Lamson, speaking on behalf of the acting Nadoli Kaleo District Director of Education, flagged unfair conditions in communities like Mangwara Bangmara, where children still trek long distances for kindergarten.
But as Oliver Trace, we always ask for more. Years we have never stopped asking. In fact, some of our communities are still left without these facilities, and I think if we can get some of these facilities for them, it will ease the burden. Looking at our community like Mangwara Bamara, they have no KG. Children trek all the way to DBI for education because they have to go to the community ahead, which is what? Moyiri.
And in Chang, the health director says a few finishing issues must be fixed before full medical work starts.
Leading with the district chief executive that as we are taking over the CHEPS compound, but we will be knocking on her door for her support so that the facility could be finished for us to start work. If not, at this particular moment, if we take over the facility, but no serious work can be done in the facility.
Representing our Powers Regional Minister, Chief Planning Officer Richard Ni Ajielai commended the Assembly for the successful completion of the projects.
We should protect the land so that other facilities can be added and one day to be a hospital or a health center. So we should put that at the back of our mind and protect the land. For the classroom, we should please also teach our children how to look after it and not write on the walls, deface the painting and spoil the chairs and other things.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Nadoli.
And thank you so much for watching the news. My name is Emefa Akufo-Addo. For more news, you log on to myjoyonline.com. Please enjoy your Sunday. Have a good week coming.
I am Anas Sabit on the principal streets of Techiman, and this is Joy News. Independent, fearless, and credible.
Did you know that some videos circulating on social media falsely claiming to be from Joy News and advertising some drugs are fakes? These fake videos advertise unapproved medicines using deep fakes of our presenters to endorse these medicines. Here's one example.
Blood pressure exceeds 120/80, internal organs are affected, and a stroke occurs. A famous doctor has developed a drug that prevents high blood pressure.
You can learn to spot these fake videos. Here's how. The first sign. Notice how the lips of the anchor do not exactly match the words being spoken. Also, pay attention to the Joy News logo in the bottom left corner. With a real Joy News logo, the globe rotates. If you spot a static logo, it is an indication the video you're watching is fake. Doctored videos often have slight inconsistencies. It could be in the audio quality, visual glitches, or even lighting. Listen to this audio carefully.
Johnson Haynes will talk about a drug from the USA.
You will notice that this is computer generated and lacks the natural pauses and rhythms of a human voice.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the law. This is your legal light. It is your health law. And here we try to give you some really good platinum legal education. Section 207 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act talks about offensive conduct conducive to breaches of the peace. And the section that follows right after it is section 208. It talks about publication of false news to cause fear and alarm. Many are coming under these laws. So how shall we conduct our social media life in a manner that avoids the situation where we get to jail because we are breaching these two particular provisions? Not only on social media, your speech life. What you say may get you into trouble. Somebody got 4 years in jail. Somebody got 30 days in jail. Somebody also just got a number of weeks also in jail. We'll be right back to give you platinum legal education on how to avoid what we have codenamed the Abronye 207 and 208. You're welcome back. This is the law. It is your legal light. It is your health law. And here on this show, we give you platinum